Okay.
Recording.
Season 2, episode 1. No, we're not using that. Well, we might use that. Shall we use that?
It was quite cool, I thought.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, shall I cross my
Brilliant
legs?
stuff.
Should we cross the legs?
I was just thinking, do I be cash? Do I play around with this?
Like gangsters. What do you reckon?
I'm a lanky fella, so.
Yeah, I mean, you are. Right, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Futsal Life Podcast.
We're back.
We're back. Is it good to be back?
I feel like we've done a lot leading up to this point already. And we're not even halfway, quarter of the way through. Yeah.
I'm exhausted already. And we haven't had a pre-season. We didn't have a break. No, we're about to go into pre-season. It doesn't feel like we had a break. The club's exploding. Participation's exploding. Our ambitions are exploding in many ways. Not just on the court, but off the court. So, be interesting to see. We did so much in year one.
Mental.
So much.
Mental.
So, like, if you look back on it, it's crazy, right? So, year two. Who knows what we'll talk about that in a minute, yeah? Talk about that in a minute. Okay, so welcome back. Let's get straight into it. LDN. We'll touch on it. We're not going to go into detail on it. They absolutely ripped us apart on their video. I would say they were borderline disrespectful with some of their stuff. They didn't like us and how we supposedly turned up to play the semi-final of a cup after travelling 4 hours.
It was a 6-hour round trip.
6-hour round trip. Yes, they were going through some stuff. Completely get that. But this is the one thing I'll say is we turned up to play the game. We didn't kick off about the lines. We didn't kick off about anything. We give them a guard of honour. We were respectful. We knew what was happening to them and their player beforehand. We turned up. But the minute we got on the court and that whistle goes, it's a semi-final of a cup that we've travelled 3-4 hours for, that we want to win. And what they were saying to me after the video, because I messaged Jamie, I said, what was it that was said? What was said that was so bad on the court that you guys feel we were being really disrespectful and to have that attitude towards us in the video? And he goes, oh, you should speak to Billy. So I messaged Billy. I said, Billy, what was said? Let me know, I'll deal with it. If it was out of order, I'll deal with it. And I'm still waiting. So they've kicked off a lot about this stuff. If stuff was said, then yeah, it needs to be dealt with, because if they've said it and it's bang out of order, then I will deal with it. But I've asked, got the cold shoulder after the game. So as far as I'm concerned, as I sit here right now, yes, stuff might have happened, but they've shown me nothing. They haven't said what. So to go in hard on us, I said it was quite disrespectful. That you went in our club, there's no evidence to say that what happened, what was said and all that sort of stuff was wrong. You know me, I'm quite laid back, I'm quite chilled, but I will also deal with stuff if I need to.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So it was harsh. He did apologise in the video for some of the language and how he was doing, what he was saying, his impressionable audience, his words, and that he could have maybe softened it a little bit. I was disappointed. We're not going to talk about this today, but the video was released the Tuesday after Amy's funeral, so I felt that, it would have been nice to have had the heads up, because everything that happened over the summer with that, to then have that the Tuesday after, I think it was just distasteful. But look, they're going to sell however they need to. They say we're never going to play them again. All right, their words, not mine. But go on, you were there. That's my say. I don't agree with their narrative. I've challenged it. I'm still waiting for what was said and what was really wrong on the day.
Well, I mean, my perspective is, I said this at the end of our video that released, I don't think we were angels in terms of not what they were saying. What I'm getting the impression is they wanted it to be a testimonial game. Now, if we did this podcast about 3 weeks ago, I think I'd be screaming, shouting, swearing, because I'm so furious with the video. It just comes across as self-entitlement. Let's be completely real.
Some of their fans said that in the comments as well.
Let's be completely real. To just think that we're just a team, because you're going through something that's really bad, but just for us to turn up on the day and just essentially what he's saying is should have walked about and let them win. That's essentially what he's saying.
Like, yeah.
And it's funny because, look, there was stuff that I didn't agree what we were doing in terms of just the game, like resending Billy into the wall.
Yeah,
not only is that a foul, it's giving them an incentive to score a goal and win. I say this at the end of our video, which was taken on the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that I didn't agree with us personally doing that. Did he do that because he hates the person that was trying to recover? No, he did that because, let's be real, it's Reece. We took him off. What he doesn't actually mention is he didn't play for 30 minutes of that game. He didn't come on to the last minute of the game because we knew the game would have been heated with that. It's funny he didn't mention that.
No.
Also, Joe holding the ball, so Fabio, couldn't take it quickly. If you think we're going to give the ball back to you quickly so you can score a goal, you're mad. You're absolutely mad. Yeah, it's annoying. We're not saying it's not annoying, but you're absolutely mad if you think we're going to give the ball straight back to you to score straight away. Again, self-entitlement. You can say to us, putting someone into the wall is really bad. You can say holding the ball for long is annoying. I do agree with what Jamie said. We shot ourselves in the foot by keeping on doing stupid stuff instead of playing futsal. But that's not because we wanted to wish anything bad on a player that's ill.
We were there
to win a game.
Yeah. And we didn't win. We got battered in the end, right? I think the game, there was a few key moments that didn't go our way. They got some good players. They had some good finishes. They beat us heavily on the day. It is what it is.
And it was
we learn from it. We go forward. But to have that spirit, and I think at the start of the video, what didn't marry up for me is right at the beginning when we turned up on the day, there was just an attitude. There was just an air of attitude, and when Jamie turned up, he kind of rocked up. He had his back, and it's in the video. His face he looks miserable. So they didn't want to necessarily play the game anyway. They could have cancelled it. I was going to offer him a coin flip to say, all right, fine.
We were talking about it the whole week, weren't we?
We said if they cancel the game, we'll offer a coin flip. We don't want to go to no final
over someone who's
absolutely
ill.
Not. No, so we'd offer it. They decided to put the game on. They wanted to play, and then I don't understand what happened when we were there. As far as I'm concerned, we turned up. We respected the game. We respected the event. We give it our all. Yes, there were some things in a game of futsal that you think, all right, you shouldn't have done that, but that's every single game of futsal that we play, and most teams play. You think, oh, we probably shouldn't have done that. But look, that's our moan. We're going to draw.
Last thing I say is, even when they're doing a stupid lines, I was saying to them that I hope your players are all good. Funny, that wasn't mentioned in the video, was it?
The lines, we'll finish after. The lines, when they're trying to tape out the lines, it was...
We had to pretend, the referee's like, this is stupid, let's scrap it. We'll just mark out the penalty spot if there's
I said we'll scrap it. I went up to the ref.
What did we do in the end?
No, I went up to the ref and I said, look, let's just not bother with it.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Crazy. Anyway, let's draw a line because we could talk about that.
If we did this video a few weeks ago, I'll be screaming and shouting. I'm just so furious about the tape. Like I say, I could take if we were like idiots on the pitch, I get it. But to say we're doing all of that because we just didn't care about someone that could have lost their life, I didn't agree with it. Furious, absolutely furious.
But you know what I will say. Final point is that actually, what the awareness, and we've said this many times on this podcast, that the awareness they bring to the game is fantastic. I don't mind if they sell a story of heated games and all this nonsense when actually it's not. But knowing all of what we had gone through, them and us as a club, I thought they could have at least given me the heads up to say, look, this is what is coming out. This is what we're saying. But it doesn't matter. They can do what they want. We're not in control of them. We turn up, we play, and if we play them again, it just adds fuel to that fire.
There's a footage that we can play to our change room. I just want to say 90% of them are not involved in this. Like, for example, TK, I think he's great and all that. It's just certain individuals that I think we've highlighted that we aren't too happy with.
Well,
so
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We look forward to playing them again.
Yeah, that video
whenever that may or may not be.
Yeah.
Whenever that may or may not be. Okay. Anyway, so moving on from that, let's get into what we've been doing pre-season. So let's go into prep. So how did we get into? What was our thoughts for this season going ahead? You're involved in the officials group. You know, kind of the planning from last year. We were looking at women's, we were looking at men's, youth. development teams, both for men and women. We're looking at leagues. We're looking at developing referees. So over this period, so last year we were at men's only. We started partway through the season developing the women's.
Yes.
So give an update, where are we at now?
Yeah, so, well, we'll start with the youth because there's so much of that before I forget any of that. Javi, absolutely doing an amazing job with that. So we've got youth sessions running every Thursday and Friday. And we've got, what was the age range? Under 8s, under 14s.
Yeah.
Going really good. So much good feedback, getting more every week, every month. And we are starting to implement friendly matches, I think, against local football sides, not futsal.
They are having a few friendlies yet.
But yeah, that will also be really good.
And they're looking at joining a league as well.
Yes.
In the upcoming sort of month or two.
And that's within 2 months of that opening up.
Yeah, so we've had, I think,
ridiculous.
Nearly or around about 100 children come into those sessions, which when you think about, they've only been going 2-3 months, and it was pilot sessions. It's phenomenal, and the amount of volunteer coaches that we've had come into those sessions from players, but not just players, other people as well. We've now got parents stepping forward and saying we'll help coach.
Really good.
We've also just secured their future in terms of a venue, because the venue we're currently using is Bournemouth Uni. That's a temporary venue. We can't use that all year round because when the students are back, they get to use it. But we like it because it's cheap, it's small. It was a great way to start it. So now they've got their own venue up at Corfe. It's a double court. It'll be brilliant. It'll be brilliant. It's just not big enough for us to be able to use it as men's and women's because it's about 10 centimetres too short.
But full credit to Javi. He's given a platform for futsal in this area, but for that age. And that's really good. We want to try and start going more the under 15s and under 16s as well, because obviously that'll be closer to quite literally a pathway to the men's, but this has been a few months. I mean, outstanding. Yeah. So that's been really good. It's been really fun. I've helped with the youth coaching as well. It's been really good. So the youth's going really well, and just to say the youth will continue to expand. So once it's in Poole and established in around Bournemouth, then we'll go to the other places as part of our hubs across the county. So the growth that we're aiming for is pretty huge, to be fair. The limit is people. We've got loads of volunteers, but people who are other parts of the county. So anybody watching this, if you want to get involved, you're a part of the different part of the county, drop me a line, mike@dorsetfutsal.com, right? We're volunteers. All volunteers. We've got, well, I mentioned other volunteers we've got, including someone I've brought in, but when we were talking about that potential graphic of the volunteers, and that was just sort of, not to say main names in like the most important roles, but like it went across 2 pages. It's just
we've got so many volunteers.
Got a LinkedIn.
I've said this before. When I first started the club back 18 months ago, I said I do not want to be a one-man band. I will put all the time and effort in to drive this club forward, but I need people to come alongside me. And when I said I need people to come alongside me, I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 people to get a go. We've got more than you count on 2 hands. It's probably close to 20.
We've got 10 goalkeepers. So we've got the goalkeeper department.
6 goalkeepers.
We've got a new office for it.
We get our own office for it. So that's the youth. Youth are going really, really well. The men's team I'll touch base on. So this year we have been able to be, I would say our squad overall after trials, which was a great success. We had a lot of people turn up to that. It was a shame we couldn't convince probably 4 or 5 of them to sign for us. I thought they would be really good players to add to the squad, but we were, and I have been able to bring in a number of players this year, which I think has added a lot of depth to our team, which we probably didn't have quite last year. I mean, we had good squad last year. We won the Southwest region for the qualifiers. This year we've got probably technically a better squad, but probably less futsal knowledge within that. So it's going to be a case of catching up, and how quickly can they catch up. We've got the National Cup games in September, and we're going to be playing established futsal sides within that. And even Wessex B, who are a new side, they're coming from a very well-run Tier 1 club, so they're going to be decent.
I'm glad them and Mainhead B are in our league. Because not to say I thought it was so easy last year, but let's be honest, we won it, of course. To go from the standard we had to Tier 3.1, it was a big jump.
Well, it was a jump, but also players let us down. And if we had had our players that we had in qualifiers, we'd have been much stronger in 3.1. There's nothing. There's no excuses. It is what it is, and it happened. But this year, we are setting the standard that you don't come training, you don't travel to away games, you are not going to be picked for home games.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing a couple of people with pre-booked holidays, granted. But if that continues into September and they're not willing to travel and all that sort of stuff, well, they won't be selected. And we're in a very privileged position this year where we don't have that, say, core 6 to 8 players. We've got a really good solid 20 players this year that we can really jump into and kind of say, actually, if you're not putting in the work, I'm sorry, I mean, there's 6 of you goalkeepers. We've got an insane goalkeepers squad, and the reality is...
We've got one over there.
Yeah,
we're doing them everywhere.
But like the reality is that, probably 3 of those goalkeepers are not going to get many minutes this year.
No.
That's the reality, and that's great. That's a great position to be in. But also really bad because you're trying to retain people, you're trying to keep them interested. So how are we as a club going to do that? Now that's a unique challenge that I've not faced before in the goalkeeper department. I've never had 6 goalkeepers before, not to the standard that we've got this year. So every day's a learning day, he's always willing to learn. So that's the men's team. We are looking to launch a development team formally, officially, come September, and they will take the place in the Monday Night League, which we'll talk about in a second. So hopefully they'll do a standalone session. We're fingers crossed this will become available from 6 onwards if handball don't renew, but we're waiting to see. And if they don't renew, then we're going to have 6 till 9:30 here or every Friday, development and whatever else we fill it with, but we'll fill it with something.
What's the other one you had in mind?
Fat futsal.
You need to name it walking futsal.
No, fat futsal. If you're fat and you want to play futsal, come and join in on our fat futsal sessions. It is what it is. Let's not be shy. Anyway, we'll skip past that because Jamie doesn't like that idea. I think it's brilliant. So Sixaside. So what people who are watching us regularly would have seen that we joined the local Sixaside league, which was Sixaside.
I don't think anyone will know about that. I don't think anyone will know about that. We've not released anything about it.
Yeah, we have.
What, Sixaside league?
The five-a-side league. It was Sixaside originally. You're getting confused. We joined 2 leagues. We joined the Monday, which was Sixaside.
It was originally Sixaside.
And the Wednesday that was Sixaside as well. The Wednesday was on a big Astro pitch that we just...
7-a-side pitch.
We have 10 videos ready to go. We'll decide soon whether we release them or not.
Mixture of performances.
Sometimes we are amazing, other times not so much. So look,
we must have used about 40 players.
Yeah, we used a lot of players and... no spoilers, we'll leave it at that, just in case we do go to release it. But the ones on the Monday, it was originally a 6-a-side league. They've now made it a 5-a-side league after the first week.
Thank goodness.
Massively, I think, because of us championing it, but also because they saw that 6 on a netball court was too many. It was just crazy.
You couldn't pass the ball.
No, you couldn't. It was a bit insane. But they've introduced a futsal ball to it, which is brilliant. And now I'm hoping, and they seem to be open to the idea of making it into a futsal league,
because it's futsal environment.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The only problem is, of course, is that I'm not saying to do a stop clock, but then 4 seconds of goalkeeper or this and that, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, I don't think stop clock is going to be needed because you can do 20 minutes each way. But what I think they do need to add in is not even 5 metre drop off; it's just 3 metres just to get players back. Some basic, the 5 foul count I think should be put in there because some teams they just kick 2 bells out of you. It just stops all of that.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Hopefully they will make the next league. We've got 2-3 more games left, maybe 2 more games I think left there. I think we've got to win 1 or 2 more to be champions. So make sure you watch the games to see where we're at.
Been very good support for those games, haven't they?
Yeah,
been very good support.
It's been very good. Yeah, people like it. I mean, go and have a look. If you haven't seen them, go and have a look because they are. I think they're good videos. I think our production value has increased. We've got a nice new camera now. We've got somebody there who's videoing it every week. I mean, I've been editing the last couple, and by the way, the last one that we edited, I got the best retention rate.
Is it because the scoreboard wasn't working?
No. It was our editors have gone away to Shagaloof. So I had to step in. Yeah, I stepped in.
What would they rather be doing? As much as they're great videos, that age.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be editing this one, so they won't see this. But anyway, but they're massive. They're huge for me because the amount of time and energy it takes to edit videos and add everything and cut it, and it is...
They're volunteers, by the way.
Yeah, they are volunteers.
Fair play. We really appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Really do.
So that's them. So that's the editors. They're a massive weight off my shoulders. I'm more than happy to step in where I can and where I need to. But it just, you know what it's like. I'm up till midnight, gone every night pretty much. So not having to have those, do the editing and all those sort of things as well.
Or editing it twice. That's quite.
Or editing it twice because somehow the video corrupted, and then I had to start right from the beginning, from the raw footage again. I had done everything. It was finished. It was finished. I was exporting a finished video, and then it just went. I tell you, I kicked off nearly.
Yeah, you were messaging.
I was not happy. Yeah, I was angry. Okay. Anything else on that? I think that's it. Just watch it. Watch the videos.
On the indoor league, or
yeah.
No, nothing on the indoor league. No, good videos are there. Go and watch.
But it is good. It's good practice, and it's helping us go into the season, which is good. Okay, so women's.
Yep.
Women's team is Jose's taken over from Amy. Jose's kind of thrown himself into that. There was a couple of weeks where we weren't too sure what was going to happen.
For obvious reasons, we had to leave that be for the time, didn't we? But
we had to kind of just park that and just get on with it. Going back to doing the first couple of sessions was really, really tough. I stepped into a couple. I really struggled. In my head, I struggled. But actually, the women's they've come together. There's a core 15, 20 of them that are really keen to go into the league. I would say that it probably is a little bit early. And by a little bit early, I mean we're probably 6 months away, really. From if I'm really honest, from where I think we need to be in terms of players, as in we've only got 16, 20, I like to have 20 to 25. I'm hoping come September we'll be able to recruit a few more. I know there's a few more interested. Venues is proving tricky. The fixtures are released. The fact we can't move the fixtures, that is causing a bit of a problem. So we're having to look out of county for 2 or 3 of those games. They also had their training cancelled because they accepted the booking, and then venue just said, not here. It was Avonbourne. They accepted it, and then they cancelled it, which was just crazy. So then all of a sudden they had no training venue, so we had to sort that out. So I would say getting them up and running has been the single most stressful thing I think I have ever experienced in futsal.
I mean,
it's been crazy.
I mean, mentally, from the obvious things with the Amy situation, to then have that pass on the side, then suddenly, for me, I'm glad in a way. I voiced this. I didn't know whether it was a good idea to go into the season for the women's team this year or next. But I do see it as like Amy's legacy.
Absolutely.
And all the girls do too. And Jose's doing a brilliant job off the court. He's doing loads of work for training venues, home venues, obviously giving them futsal knowledge, etc. So fair play to Jose, because he's still part of the men's side.
Yeah.
That's not.
He'll be training in a minute.
Training here.
Yeah.
After training, I don't know if other nights he's got to train. Saturdays he'd be travelling to manage them. Sundays he'd be travelling to play with us.
Yeah.
So fair play. But yeah, they're a great bunch.
They are, and they're really keen.
They're really committed.
They really want to make it work this year.
Yeah.
And if they were not so committed and keen, I think I would have delayed a year.
Yeah.
But because they are so, yes, we are making this happen, I think we will make this happen.
The only doubt I had was seeing the message go, wait, do we have to play Birmingham? Yeah. But I thought it was the South League.
Welcome to futsal.
Well, I'm playing the Isle of Wight.
Futsal is...
Sorry, Birmingham South, where you can play Manchester, Bolton, Liverpool if you want to, but...
I think, the realities will kick in start of the season. Results, but that's the same with the men's. The results, if they're going your way, you've got players that turn up and they want to play. If they're not going your way and you're getting battered every week, people flake and they're like, I'm not interested. So, it's the first season, no expectations. They need to go at it, enjoy it, and they're loving it. They're loving it absolutely, and I'm so proud of all of them for just getting into it and keep going. Despite everything, they're just keeping going. and they've got a fire about them, which is really nice to see.
Oh yeah, none of that
Really
I have
lovely.
any doubt with. And for me, it's just I'm very proud to see them in the league. Even if I thought maybe this is a year early or not, I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, the
absolutely.
dedication they have.
Yeah.
Application.
I think they will continue to get stronger. And watch Dorset Futsal in the league this year. I'm quietly optimistic. They've got some baller players, and if they can get the commitment from them, they could be a very strong team.
Some of them don't look completely out of place in the men's training.
No,
Let's be real.
No, they don't. Some of them
Okay.
are doing really well. So, look, let's wait and see what happens there. We'll talk about them throughout the season, as we always do, with all our teams. Hopefully, I did ask for a women's representative here tonight. Nobody came. Danny did offer, but she had to take her cat to the vet, so she couldn't make it, unfortunately.
I hope the cat's okay.
I hope the cat's okay too. Okay, so shall we talk briefly, very quickly, about costs to run the club? What time are we on? Yeah, let's do it. So I know that there's a lot of new teams coming into the NFL this year, and probably the NFS with us going into it.
Welcome, Carlisle, by the way. I just hope we don't ever have to go to you, though.
Yeah, Carlisle was in it before. Good Owls come back. It's good to see them entering the league again. Good setup up there with the youth and everything, so credit to them for coming back. But I think we can go into this in a lot more detail if people are interested. So if you want to see what our club running costs are, more than happy to go through it in minute detail for people. We can do a separate video on that.
We're quite transparent, aren't we?
We are, yeah. We want to see the game grow. We don't care about all hiding things or anything like
We're
that.
not Man City. We're
not
happy
bothered.
to.
Yeah. Although we can think we're like no, I wouldn't want to be Man City.
Well, unless there were certain allegations last year where money might have been taken out of the club, but
Yes, we would talk about that. No, why you got to say that? Come on.
just
How much
rumours,
money was taken out of the club? Come on.
Well, I'm going to have to ask Mr. Ollie Jukes, who might be on the payroll.
Ollie Jukes is over there. Grand total of 0 was taken out of the club last year.
Just rumours, I heard. That's
just rumours. Honestly, causing drama. Honestly. Anyway, people throwing their toys at the pram and just. Is what it is.
It was all good though.
We're
got a
past
drink
it.
out of
Yeah,
it,
we're
so.
over it, mate. Clearly we're over it. Anyway, cost to run a club. So we budget roughly £6,000 per year to run a club. Right. So that's training once a week.
Across both teams, men's and women's.
So £12,000 in total. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's excluding the Monday league.
That's new
purely
for us this year, isn't it?
What's that?
That's new for us this year, the budget.
Yeah, budget, yeah, it is. So we allocate roughly £6,000 for the men's, £6,000 for the women's. It's not exact, but that's roughly what it is. And we aim for £12,000 between the two. Hopefully get a sponsor to cover the lot, but we're not there yet. We're in talks and we're putting plans together and we're making some moves, but at the moment, nothing in place. So how we break that, what that covers is one training a week, covers everything you need for match days, covers refs, covers league fees, covers player affiliation fees, and there isn't much left after that. Okay, so the way our club finances work is we charge a signing on fee of about £75, although we're hoping to reduce that now. We're second year. This year we've kept it the same, but next year we're hoping potentially to get rid of it completely. But we'll have to wait and see.
We never want to do it, do we?
These things. Yeah, I hate charging.
Yeah.
I hate charging the monthly. I hate charging for match days. So £75 signing on, £26 a month for training, and that covers for an hour and a half on a Friday here at Paul Grammar, which is a lovely venue. Yeah, you get good coaching with it. And then match days, home match days only are £6. Away's free. We were hoping again this year to clear the £6 for the teams. We're going to keep the £6 for home days purely because to give that buffer for the ladies, so we can use that income to help subsidise the ladies. Now, the club is financially sound. We're okay, right? The club is in
It's talked
a
about
really
every day
healthy
to
place.
make sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everything that we want to do goes through the committee, or at least as a
Everything goes through
reference,
committee.
doesn't it?
Yeah, so all expenditure from the club goes through the committee. there's complete trust within the committee, so people make decisions. I don't think we've ever disagreed once, have we? So if we've
got the same vision,
we're all on board. We're all tied in. We all want to get to the same place. You know, one of the things I want to do within a few years is be able to buy the club a minibus. All right, so that's increasing revenue streams. That's where the YouTube comes in. This is why this is happening, because although it may never happen, right, it may never become monetized. It might not, right? It might not. But actually, people looking in from the outside, it looks really good. It gets people interested in the club. If it does start making money, all of that money will be reinvested into the club, and then that will help reduce playing fees and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it may not cover costs. It may be a few quid. But a few quid is a few quid that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And I think we enjoy it. I think players like watching the games back. I think there's a real value in.
I'm really looking forward to watching our recent game coming up, which we won't mention about.
We won't mention
but
it. Be a little while.
It's really good, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Don't we? To be fair.
And I really like watching it back, and I think it's good. So, in terms of cost, you've got your 12 grand. That covers everything for both teams for the year. Within those costs that you're charging people, you get your training shirt. You get various little bits and pieces. It helps reinvest in the balls and the bibs and everything. Buying the youth goals, all that sort of stuff. It goes into.
We had to buy all size 3 balls. Size 3? Yeah, youth balls. All balls for that.
Exactly. So that was taken from last year's profit. So the little bit of money we had last year, we used that money and reinvested it all into the youth. And the youth, we invested about £1,000 up front. Maybe not quite, but not far off, right?
Yeah.
And so for the first 2-3 months, the youth ran at a break even. Basically, they didn't make any money. They started off at a loss, and then over time they made money. Nobody gets paid, so all the money gets reinvested back into the club and back into the youth specifically. So the men's money gets put into a separate account. That's the men's. The women's into the women's, and the youth will stay into our generic club account that will run. Basically, that will kind of be like just. It stays in there and it all goes through there. We do also have a club savings account that we put any excess money into, or money that needs to be ring fenced for whatever reason. It just goes into there and then we don't touch it. Ollie Jukes is the money man and he does that. So those are roughly, in a broad sense, the playing fees. And I know they vary a lot at different clubs and clubs are in different places, but the essential thing is 20 to 25 players paying £26 a month will cover your fees for the year with a signing on fee on top. And the signing on fee is your buffer. That's why we're able to pay the ref fees up front for the whole year. We ain't got to worry about that then. Yeah? And then the monthlies then look after themselves for the season. If you start dropping to 13, 14 players, for us, we wouldn't be financially stable. No. So you have to be up and around and above that 20 mark if you can.
It'd be interesting to hear about, because we were in AGM last night and found out Sussex dropped out the league, not just them, but which is very surprising to hear when you think they could be going for tier 2, but just shows with what you've just said.
Yeah.
Is they said they were struggling to get a team together. They could probably get 5 to 8 people but it's that thing of, because we are at that tier 3 stage, we're not the same with professionals. It is self-funding, isn't it, in a way, from the players?
Yeah.
So that is going to be a big factor.
Yeah.
We've also got to take into account we are in the National Futsal League, not the National Futsal Series, which is tier 1 and tier 2. And obviously by the time you get to there, costs will start
increasing. Start to increase more. Yeah.
So it's about getting that foundation. So, because we would like to get there, not saying this season, of course, but, not saying guarantee this season, we've got to see what happens. But you also want to have that foundation to have that.
The club needs to be stable
to get to that point as well.
Yeah. And I think the club is we think we're heading into our second season. You think a year and a half ago, it was me turning up with 10 players, just on a casual kind of thing. So to be where we are now with the youth, the women's, everything, the financial stuff we've got in place, the renewal of Ackerman Peirce, who's re-sponsored us for this year, other stuff going on in the background as well. I think, the club is in a really good place. We've got loads of people involved, loads of volunteers. Now we just have to keep running with it, which is why I stay up till 12, 1 o'clock at night to make sure we're constantly pushing what's next. I drive it forward and then I hopefully can hand it to somebody else and then I can move on to the next thing to drive it forward. And then the next sort of steps we're looking at now is we kind of sorted this area. Now we need to be YouTube, trying to get that income coming in, and then other areas, Blandford, Dorchester, Weymouth. Can we now start to bring that in? And it may not be a club, it may just be casual futsal sessions for youth. It may be a casual futsal league or something like that. But that's the next step. How do I bring in more revenue? And then you can use those players to funnel into the pyramid that we've got within the club. So, you know, big plans. The 10, 20, 30, 40 year, 50 year vision is that we'll have our own venue. That would be incredible. Our own minibuses, our own venue, leagues running every night, youth from all ages.
Especially with futsal growing in this country.
Yeah.
They're saying it's doubled in the last 5 years, the amount of registered players.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But the growth that we've seen here is huge. And we may never get to monetization on YouTube. We may never get a venue that we think that's our own. We own that, that's ours. But that's the dream, and that's what we're all working towards, to try and firstly give a great foundation for everybody who joins the club, give a great experience, and then from there, what happens on the court happens on the court. Yeah, the club itself and the foundations around the court are what we're trying to build in.
And for what we're doing for the community, hopefully, with the youth, that's the start.
Yeah.
We're also trying to raise our profile across social medias, so we've now brought in a volunteer graphic designer, which is one of my own,
one of your own,
my fine, loving girlfriend.
Your other half,
yeah.
And
so
she's regretting it already because she's like, wow. Okay.
So can you try it? Yeah, do this. Yeah, thumbnail, cool. So up to 3 o'clock in the morning, she loves like project work, loves it. Yeah. Oh, can you just change this, please? So she was very tired the next evening. Yeah. After doing all that. We're pleased with it. I mean, you did like it, but you're like, oh, I think we should have more action.
Change this a little bit.
To be fair, that's the only one you've done with that. Yeah, but she's, I mean, I aspire, but she's done brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant with that. And then we've got obviously Joe on the LinkedIn.
Well, Joe, it's worth mentioning, Joe's role is going to be developing. So Joe's kind of stepping forward as our, probably something along the lines of head of comms and business partnerships, right? So he's putting together strategies, he's putting together all these plans on how we can hit, and I'm incredibly impressed with the work that he sent me. It's not even been shared with the committee yet. It's that kind of raw. You won't know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in due course. It's not quite there yet, but we're hoping that we'll bring Joe into it, into kind of the more management of the club side of things. So watch this space and Joe's role, because that should hopefully propel us to another level, which will be
when you have about 20 keepers, one of them will at least bring something to the pie.
Okay, let's wrap up then. So thoughts for this season, let's finish with that. So I think where we're at this year is, as I said earlier, our squad is really good. Right, we've got really good players. Commitment will be the number one factor on whether or not we do well. And if we have all the players turn up, I think we have a shot at defending our qualifying title. But there were games last year. We got very lucky in a lot of games last year where we scraped by teams. So we are not the cream of the crop, as it. We're not the top of the pile. We are there or thereabouts with 3 or 4 other teams, and we've got two new teams coming in, so we could easily finish bottom half if we're not careful. So I've been putting a rocket up people's rear ends in the various games we've been playing already, because actually there's a lot of learning that they need to do, and this year it's not about saying actually it's okay, don't worry. No, we need to be better. Your attitude needs to change. We need to be winners. We need to want to be winning. We need to be hungry for when things don't go right, we don't start having a strop. We get our heads down and we get on with it. And that's something that last year, especially towards the end of the season, it started to creep in, didn't it? When the games weren't quite going our way. And this year, it won't happen. People will be asked to leave.
For me, 2 games defined said the story of our season last year, and were actually ironically both against LDN. The home game here, where people who weren't seen for weeks, training or matches, turning up, and we had to start them because we had a lot of injuries. We actually had 3 keepers on the day, and then they were moaning about things that weren't going right.
Yeah,
you weren't in training, you don't know what's going on.
No.
Then the semi-final, we started brilliantly. To LDN's surprise, and then we were very naive where we were looking at 5 fouls after 10 minutes of the first half, including what we mentioned about Billy getting sent into the wall. That's a foul in itself.
But I also think Estudiantes was
I wasn't there.
Was a bad game because we had a good squad. Result didn't go our way. We went up 10-minute warm up in a freezing venue after travelling 4.5 hours.
This is London,
was
by the way.
just ridiculous. So. But it is what it is. last season's been done. We need to learn from that, put it right this year. Players need to turn up. They need to train. Those that flake, I will tell them. I will be messaging them straight away saying, look, if you're not interested, just go and play football or something. I don't care. There's loads of people. How many players have we got in the development group itching to come and play for the National League team? I don't need prima donnas this year. You need people who are focused, who are going to try and kind of push themselves and the team as a unit. That's what we want. So in terms of ambitions, men, I think we have to try and match what we achieved last year. I don't want to take a step back, but equally we also need to recognise that we're going to have bumps along the way, and it may not go as smoothly as we found out recently. Exactly. So the women's, no expectations whatsoever. I want them to enjoy it. I want them to turn up. I want them to get involved, and what will be. And I'm quietly hopeful and optimistic for the ladies. I think they're going to surprise a few teams, and yeah, we'll see how they get on, because they've done incredibly well. So other stuff, the youth, that should continue to expand. I would see us filling up probably 2 or 3 venues by the end of this year, all being well. Hopefully, it's just when it comes up, we'll book it and we'll get in and we'll do it. And we'll make it happen. And I would also like to see us expand to one other site this year. So whether that's Dorchester, probably Dorchester, because that seems to make more sense, because then you can kind of attract Blandford, you can kind of attract Weymouth and Bridport, because it's that way.
They all know each other from there.
Yeah, and there's a couple of venues that we can use. We would need to buy goals, but so I'd like to see that. And then potentially I'd also like to see us have some kind of league by the end of the year. So whether that's a futsal league, or I've got a venue in mind, but or it's a futsal-y type mix of but to bring revenue into the club. So we'll see. I'm
mental. Isn't it?
I'm incredibly optimistic for this year.
Mental. Yeah. So be we're not even 2 years old.
Not even 2 years old. No, it just goes to show you, when you've got people and determination and a vision, what can be done, and you can do it properly. It may not be perfect. There may be bits around the edges that don't.
Like scoreboards not updating on the editing or something.
Things like that, yeah. But and we may get things wrong on the court and get things wrong off the court, and we may get fines for not putting our paperwork in properly, and But actually, we are. We're doing what we can, and we're trying to give a great product and great showing for futsal, as are a lot of other people as well. So I think the league this year will be much stronger. I think the overall futsal community is moving forward. I do, but it's a slow game. And that's that. Shall we wrap up? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. I just think there's a better quality standard. Southwest, which should be interesting. And then we've got playoffs if we do make tier 0.31, which, yeah.
Who knows? Top 4 go through to 3.1. So I would hope we make it. But look, we've got 2 new teams. We've still got Bristol, still got Portsmouth in there. Still got some good teams.
We don't know anything about Farnborough.
Farnborough.
As much as we know much about Wessex and Maynard, we don't know what B side will. Yeah.
We could struggle this year. I think tier 3. I think Southwest is going to be incredibly strong this year, and I think that our strength is going to be nulled out by everybody else getting stronger.
I don't want to go with respect to Berkshire, away to them playing 16-year-olds who they were and winning 10-1.
No, you want a competitive.
You want, and it's not fair on them as well. Let's be real. Those 16-year-old lads. We want proper teams in this area. And we fight amongst.
I almost think Southwest is probably stronger than Southeast this year.
Yeah, I do.
I do. Now LDN and Sussex and SWN has dropped out.
They've all gone.
I think it's probably stronger Southwest this year.
100%.
I think there's going to be some surprises this year. So anyway, should we wrap up?
Yeah. Subscribe, hit the like button.
Subscribe. We got over 1,000 now. Biggest active YouTube club-run channel futsal in the country, apparently. So I'm told.
Exactly.
Avoiding LDN, but they're not a club-run channel.
No.
Yeah. Let's go.
That's a wrap.